It's gone. I think it was a torque converter though. They made really shitty torque converters on that model.
Oh, they did. They didn't. One of the times I was doing like a weekend with my buddies. We were going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and we're going to Dead Man's Curve in downtown Cleveland to go to our hotel room. It's this part of the highway there that it's just an unforgiving bend, and my torque converter and transmission all went shot.
Oh wow.
It was crazy.
So Tiggy.
Yo, you hear me, right? You can hear
Yes,
me.
I can definitely
What
hear
kind of
you.
mechanical stories do you have for us, Tiggy?
Yeah, I want to hear your worst broke down on the side of the highway story.
Aw, bro, I don't even drive like that much, though.
Really? Now, do you live? Yeah, because I know you're in the. Are you in the SeaTac area?
Yeah, not really. Kind of like a bit north.
Bit north, okay, but you're still pretty relatively close to the city center. You do a lot of like cabs and buses and stuff like that up there.
Nah, not even that. Like, I just don't really need to use a highway that much.
Yeah, I love it up there. I actually visited up there. It's been a while back. What, about 6 or 7 years ago? I had a friend of mine lived in Tacoma, and it's so beautiful up there. It really is.
I had a friend from Washington State too, and always had pictures of between Mount Rainier, the Tacoma, Spokane area. It's a beautiful state.
Seattle is a beautiful city too, and you don't really say that. It really is. I love Seattle.
Does it rain as much there as they say that it does? I know it's notorious for rain.
It's a beautiful city.
Like, it's pretty bad, yeah. But like during the summer, it's good. During the summer, it's like we chilling. But like, yeah, nowadays it's like probably I'd say like 70% of the days in the winter probably rains. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you blaming this on global warming, or what's your take on all that?
You know, I just think, bruh, like, you know, you feel me, like, bruh, like, it's good, like, you feel me, like.
I mean, if you say so.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry.
I think the biggest thing before we get into this Fiesta Bowl thing is we got to figure out how the hell did Washington get a New Year's 6 day bowl?
Bro, we chilling, bro. Yo, bro, it's cause like they know we hella good, right? It's just that like our record's not that good, cause like we got unlucky. But like it's like not fair, cause you know 2 games that's not really fair, right? Like come on, bro.
Right.
Like think of it like this, right? So. A trash team, bro. So there's one trash team, right? They lost 3 games. They're ranked number 7 in the nation. What's their name? Auburn. Look, so they lost 3 games. They're not good, right? How are they ranked number 7, bro? Look, think of it like this, bro. If you go 10-2, bro, you have 2 losses, bro. 2 losses away from home, bro. Like they're away from home. Like it's not like you lost at home.
2 powerhouses like Arizona State and
No. Think of it like this, right? So you go 10-2. You win every game at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You lose 2 games away on by like 1 score, right? So you lose 2 games away by 1 score. That's not bad. That means that you never got blown out. You never got blown out by like USC or Ohio State, right? You never got blown out once. That means a lot to me, bro. Like,
Memphis has a pretty good resume too.
Here,
Memphis only has 2 losses.
In the Tiggy theorem, the Tiggy theorem, if losing 2 games on the road and not getting blown out means something special. I mean, Penn State
that means
lost.
you're one of the best 4 teams. If you like, I believe Washington's a top 4 team because we never lost at home. If you lose at home, you should not be in the college football playoff. All right, that's plain and simple. You lose at home. That means you're worse. Not just worse. You're like definitively worse than who you lost to. So Oklahoma, they lost to Iowa State. Nah, they shouldn't even be in the college football playoff discussion, bro. They're not top 4. You feel me? Like, yo, bro.
I mean,
like,
by your theorem, Penn State would be a top 4 team because we lost 2 games on the road, once to Ohio State by a point, then the weather delay and.
I don't know if Tiggy will admit this now, but let me go ahead and put this out there. Tiggy actually said that Penn State was a top 4 team the last time he was on here.
Yeah, bro. This should be a
You're the
college
man,
football playoff.
Tiggy.
This should be a matchup, bro. Like
But
college football playoff matchup.
He will not give Penn State that kind of credit tonight.
No.
I wouldn't expect them to.
Like
Okay.
Penn State, all right, y'all are okay, right? Y'all are some playmakers. Like I fuck with Saquon, right? Saquon, hella dope.
You got
Trace-
that Gaskins.
Gaskin,
Is that his
Gaskin, yeah, Miles Gaskin. He's alright, right? He's pretty good. We chilling, right? But here's the thing, right? When I look at Penn State, bro, all I see, I just see the filth. I just see this filth from the past, all right? Filth. Like the program is tainted, bro. It's never gonna go away, bro. Like when I see Penn State, bro, you feel me? Pedo State, penetration state, whatever you want to call them. Look, bro, I can't take y'all seriously.
Yeah, there's how many people are on that staff and in that administration that was part of
I
that?
think 0
There's-
now.
No, there's at least 20 there. Come on, man. They're hiding. They're not going to admit it. There's nobody left from
I
that.
think
Tiggy, come on now,
I
Tiggy.
think the janitor's still from that era.
Come on, Tiggy, man. That's
What
a
does the
non-issue.
janitor? What does the Penn State janitor know?
Well, I mean, I think the guy's last name was Calhoun, if I remember the grand jury presentment where he was doing his monthly duty, went to the shower room and saw Sandusky and a boy going to shower slapping or going on there. But here's the rub. This is what I'll throw to anybody, you know. So I'm a lifelong Penn State fan, and there's plenty of proud Penn State fans out there. What can we do? What can we do because of a rogue administrator, essentially, because he was a professor emeritus at this point, that goes crazy? Well, I mean, I can't do nothing about it now. I know if I ran into the situation what I would do, but I wasn't there. There's no with that. The university cleaned its board of trustees, most of the administration. There's no one like on the football staff there that was from there. So I mean, what can you really do about it at this point?
Penn State shouldn't have a football program. You guys should not have a football program after that, bro.
Well, think of it like this.
Bro.
Think of it
Go
like
ahead.
this. So, in the Pac-12, who would you consider the equivalent to Penn State in the Pac-12? You know,
Well,
like
let's see.
I'm asking you straight.
Like Penn State, like I mean, it depends how you consider Penn State. Like, which team? All right, which team in the Pac-12 do I think is like?
Think of it school. Think of it like school with how many kids go there, the athletic, like successful athletic program.
So basically, a program that's on par with what Penn State, offers.
is
Yeah.
the Big Ten.
See, but that's the problem with Penn State, bro. Because like I don't know if Penn State's a big program. Because I mean, you guys have, what do you call it? Like I would think Penn State's a big program, right? But you guys were trash before, like not too long ago.
Trash before what?
Right? Like trash, like before you guys started becoming good last couple seasons. Like I don't know if Penn State's a big program. Like,
Are you talking about down toward the tail end of Paterno's tenure there? Correct.
Yeah, bro. Like, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we weren't winless ever, like under the Tyrone Willingham era. They're always below.
Oh.
Okay. Well, bro, just because one bad season like 10 years ago, bro. How about this, dude? Bro, Penn State missed bowl games like this century, not this decade, right? Think of it like this, bro. Under Chris Pearson, we never missed a bowl game, right?
Okay.
Under James Franklin, how many bowl games have you missed?
Technically 0, because the 2 that he didn't go to was because they were ineligible to go to.
Yeah.
Because of
Exactly,
sanctions.
we're ineligible because okay.
But
Look,
they
that's a
didn't
good point.
achieve a bowl to be bowl eligible. They were bowl eligible teams via the win-loss record, but the sanctions did not allow that to happen. It's not like they were 0-11 and just a laughing stock of the Pac-12.
Right. All right. Let's go back to your point. All right. So,
Okay.
which team would I consider to be like
Yeah.
on par with Penn State? Let's see. I'd probably say UCLA because
Okay.
UCLA, they have pretty much no fans that show up when they're average, which is pretty much the same as Penn State, right? None of the fans showed up during when you guys were on sanctions, right? No one really
They
cared
still
about Penn
averaged
State.
99,000 fans a game.
No,
They did.
I saw those empty seats, bro. No, I saw those empty seats, man.
I mean, the stadium holds close to 110.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's 11,000 empty seats.
motherfucker. You snake motherfucker.
No, whoa. Okay, all right, fellas, time out. Come on, give me a second here. Fellas, Paul, just give me a second, man. Paul, give me a second. Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's all about here at SmackDown.
Nah, bro. Look, run the stats back from a few years ago. That's what I'm talking about. Back when you guys were like really bad, like when you guys hit rock bottom, bro.
So that would have been what, the 12-13 season?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now go ahead.
5 years ago.
So you picked UCLA.
4 or 5 years ago.
So
why the fuck are we talking about 4 or 5 years ago?
The Pac-12 known as the Conference of Champions. So say UCLA got scandal. Would you want to nuke the UCLA program out of your conference? That means you lose that quality team, you lose that quality school. It's not a business decision. You have the Pac-12 network that's fledgling. I mean, I get it on my cable box out here, and I mean, you lose a brand on that channel, on that network that you're trying to proliferate throughout the country. Big Ten would have been dumb at that point to nuke Penn State because, you know, at that point, Ohio State was was under sanctions from Tattoo-gate. You know, Michigan was meh. Nebraska just got into the Big Ten, and, you know, that didn't really go gangbusters. So if you nuke Penn State, that's a bad call. And also, if you recall, when the Big Ten decided to expand and add Maryland and Rutgers, you can pull this up. Barry Alvarez was on record as saying it was the measure of bringing Maryland and Rutgers in was to landlock and protect Penn State because they feared without them two schools being there for Penn State may have been gobbled up or left for the ACC. And there was Big Ten Board of Trustees at Penn State with the way how the Big Ten kind of handled it that were willing to leave the Big Ten for the ACC.
Mm-hmm. Damn, that's a history lesson. I didn't even think about it like that. But bro, all right, look, that's great, bro. I'm sure Penn State's got some history, right? You guys got your history. That's great. Look,
we do.
Look, so all right, let's get back to the topic on hand, right? So here's the problem with Penn State, though. Look, so Penn State, look, I'm on record. I said, end the bowl season, Penn State's number 4 in the nation, behind us number 3, right? That was before all the bowl games were set, right? So when I saw we got NY6, I was like, okay, yeah, that's nice. We got NY6. Hopefully, we got some trash team like Ohio State, who I think is really overrated. I'd say Ohio State's barely top 10, right? We didn't get Ohio State. We got Penn State. So, honestly, even though it's 11 versus 9, I feel it's more like number 3 versus number 4. All right? Am I wrong for thinking that? I don't know. That's your opinion, bro. But look.
I consider Penn State and Washington top 8 teams. I consider Penn State, in the 6 to 8 range and similar range for Washington. This, to me, is a matchup. I think for both Peterson and Franklin, this is a matchup of saying you got both young coaches that are successful, but for Peterson now he has all the resources at Washington that he didn't have at Boise State, and this would be a what I call a grand pecking order game, where Washington's a regional power, Penn State's a regional power. Now it's a chance to take these two regional powers and see who can be a national power. And in my opinion, for Franklin, this year, since they went to the Rose Bowl last year, they in the biggest games, they haven't closed them out. And for me as a Penn State fan, if we're being told we're going to be a national power, you got to win games against teams like Washington, against Ohio State, and be able to close against Ohio State and USC. So for me, this is going to be a very entertaining game in that aspect, because while you gave compliments to Saquon Barkley, I give equal respect back to Dante Pettis, and I think the lineman's name on the defense is Vita Vea. Is that his name?
Vita Vea, yeah.
He's a monster. So that'll be interesting to see, because right now, like I said, in the Rose Bowl, Penn State was up 14 points, 42-28. They couldn't close that game. They couldn't do the proper drive against Ohio State this year, and it was 35-20, and they forced a fumble on J.T. Barrett. The very next series, they go 3 and out. They actually lose 7 yards on this series, and Ohio State blocks the punt and gives them all the momentum to win that game. So this is one of those things. Like, you know, Franklin's. Hey, we got a top recruiting class from the early signing period that's right now signed. You know, he's won a Big Ten championship, but where, you know, if his aspirations are to be a national power and a national program, winning a Fiesta Bowl is huge and critical.
Tiggy,
Yeah.
how do you see this game going?
Well, let's see. All right. First off, let me address this, bro. Like, what I see from Penn State, bro. Look, honestly, let me just get this off my brain, right? Conference championships, super overrated, in my opinion. Look, so think of it like this, right?
As an Alabama fan, I would agree with you on that.
No, because all it is you're just playing an extra game at the end of the season, right? Well, that's all you're doing. You're just playing an extra game, and whoever wins that game is the conference champion. Like, I ain't even, like, flex that much in Pac-12 groups. Like, last year, we won the Pac-12 championship. Like, we blew out Colorado, right? Like, kind of a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even flex about that because it's just one extra game. It's not like, you know, we really, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like we really, like, did something super extra to win it, right? And in the same way, like, I believe if Penn State played against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game, I think Penn State would have mopped. I can't even find my words right now.
Mop the floor.
They would have. Yeah, that's what you said, right? So I think Penn State would have easily been the Big Ten championship if they got the chance to play in that game. Same way I think Washington would have beat USC, but that would have been more close, right? So now I'm getting back on track. Yeah, I can't find my words there, but that's all right. Look, so now we're gonna get to the game. Look, so all right, bro. Look, think of it like this, right? So what's gonna happen is I think Penn State's got a great team, right? Like, I love you, right? No homo. Look, so here's the problem.
Thanks for that soundbite.
Now, yeah, and remember, you kind of started this conversation with the whole, you know, Penn State pedo thing. So yeah, take it wherever you want to go, man. I mean, it's, you know, just throwing that out there.
Direction he wants.
Like, yeah, all right. So I'm not very good with my words today, but that's okay. Look, so I'm gonna just get right to the game prediction. All right, here we go. So,
drum roll,
I
please.
think Penn State's got a great team, right? I have no problem with Penn State, like, per se. Look, I've loved trolling your groups, like, the past 3 weeks, right? It's been fun. All right.
I've seen you in a few of them. We are Penn State fanatics. I like the one where you told the one lady that she should quit bitching at the airlines. I thought that I was about ready to laugh, but I didn't want to. I wanted to still be incognito a bit.
Yeah, like, dude, trust me, dude. Like, I have no problem with Penn State. I think like the fan base itself, like, I kind of feel bad in a way because, you guys seem like good people, but you guys always, I always, like, troll you guys with the Penn State jokes, right? But I think I've seen a lot of Penn State fans sadists, and I agree with them. Look, Coach Franklin, like, your coach, he's a choker, all right? He's a choke artist, massive choke artist. And here's the problem, right? I think Saquon's good. I think you guys have, what's his name, Gesicki? He's pretty good, all right? Trace McSorley, like, I watched the Rose Bowl last year. He looked all right, right? But once again, you guys don't finish out games. Like, you guys were busting Ohio State's ass earlier, right? Yep. And I don't know how y'all lost that game. I didn't watch, right? I didn't watch the last quarter.
I could go on long and long about that game. I know that game chapter and verse, unfortunately.
So what I think is going to happen is I think we'll score some points, all right? Penn State defense, I don't know too much about you guys, but we'll score some points, all right? But I think what it comes down to is what Penn State's offense can do to our defense, all right? And Saquon Barkley, he may be good, right? I think we've played a better running back this season. I'd put Bryce Love over him, even, like, because Bryce Love, when healthy,
that's
I'd
fair.
put him over Saquon.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's fair.
That's a fair assessment. Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
Maybe a better runner, not a better all-purpose player.
True.
Yeah, maybe not better like playmaker, because I mean, like, say,
But as far as
Apples and
pure
oranges
runner
here.
goes, Bryce Love, hands down.
Yeah, if you're talking running game, apples, Bryce Love. If you're talking all-purpose back, all-purpose athlete.
Talking about making a catch with one finger and pulling the ball in and making the catch, then you're talking
Yeah,
about
I think in
that's-
one
that's
game,
Barkley.
Barkley had a
Yeah.
rushing, receiving, passing, and return touchdown. What
Mhm.
can you say?
Yep.
yeah, well, he's like a human highlight machine, right?
He is.
Look, mad respect for that, right?
Mhm.
But I think what's going to come down to is when it comes down to their offense against our defense, right? I think we're for some reason, I have a good feeling we're gonna stop your running game, right? Stop Saquon,
Okay.
and it's gonna come down to Trace McSorley. And as usual, McSorley, the choke artist. I saw this against USC. All right, he's gonna be like what do you call it? Deer in headlights. All right, he's not gonna know what's going on, right? This guy, he's gonna try to chuck up the ball. He's gonna get picked off, just like he got picked off in the Rose Bowl at the end of the game against USC. Right, he's gonna get picked off 3 times. All right, is he a senior? Is McSorley
He's a junior. He's like Browning. He's a junior.
Okay. Yeah. So, unfortunately for him, he'll have one more year to come back. But really, like, he's only looked kind of decent because of Saquon. Right now, Saquon's gone next year. He's already here. He knows it's over. Like, the gig's up. Like, we know how to stop him. All right. We're gonna score points off the turnovers. All right. I'm sure like Saquon will rip off one big play, get a touchdown for you guys. Whatever. That's great. I'm gonna predict 38-16. Washington rolls. Because Jake Browning, like, Penn State's defense, you guys are all right. Like, I don't know what the stats are, but pretty much we've put up a lot of points on every defense we've played, right? And we've played some all right defenses, right? I'm not gonna, say we played world beater. I'm not gonna say we played Clemson, like a Clemson defense this season. But we've played some decent ones like Stanford, right? These at the very best, like, these teams are all right. They can defend, right? And Penn State is nothing special, right? So we've already shown we can score. We'll score points, and yeah, I just think Trace will choke when it comes down to it.
All right, Kyle, tell us why he's wrong.
Give us a business, Kyle.
So, with Penn State going into this game, there's 2 things that, as a fan, that I'm looking both sides for. So, number one, on the offensive side of the ball, Tiggy was mentioning McSorley choke. I don't necessarily say McSorley chokes. I think his offensive line just can't block. And I think that was the problem throughout the season, is the staff was reluctant to adapt to 7-8 men in the box, and Saquon couldn't run the ball, and McSorley didn't even have time to read the field and make a proper throw. Think of the Ohio State game when both Nick Bosa and Sam Hubbard literally came in and should have just done if you guys know pro wrestling, the Dudley Boys 3D to him on the field at the shoe.
Oh yeah.
The offensive, the lines for Penn State, both their offensive line against the defensive line, again, that Vita Villa and Co. They got a couple big guys on that Washington line. I mean, D-line. That's going to be, to me, the matchup of that game there, because if Penn State can't block, it's going to be like a 38-16 type game, because Washington got the athletes, with the Gaskins, the Dante Pettises of the world to light it up. And Browning and Peterson ain't afraid to light it up. Peterson has a track record. But if Penn State's O-line shows up, Barkley can make a difference. McSorley can make read. I mean, look at the vertical weapons from Penn State. You got Jawan Johnson, Saeed Blocknall, DeAndre Tompkins, and Deshaun Hamilton. So you got the vertical weapons there, and all those guys can make plays on there. On the defensive side of the ball, so Manny Bowen is, again, for the second consecutive year, not playing in the bowl game. But Manny Bowen hasn't played the last 3 weeks. So Brandon Smith, who also played in the Rose Bowl last year and played the last 3 weeks, will be in his spot at linebacker. So when you look at at Penn State's defense, the thing with that is Brandon Smith athletic enough to make those plays against the Gaskins, the Pettis, the tight ends and all the crazy schemes Peterson comes up with here. I mean, it's one thing to have great games against 3 dispirited teams at the end of the season. It's another thing when you're going in the Fiesta Bowl. In my opinion, where I'm at, I'm actually taking Washington by 4. I don't see Penn State winning this game.
Wow.
Damn, you picking us? All right. All right. I see you.
It's nothing. It's a lot of people will say, why aren't you taking your boys here? Franklin hasn't shown me, this team hasn't shown me that it can play a full 60-minute game this year. When they played against a high potent offense last year in the Rose Bowl in January, they got the points, but the defense let them up. JT Barrett looked like the next pro prospect, like number 1 pick after that playing us. Again, look at Michigan State game, the weather delay game. After that weather delay, let's be honest here with Michigan State. They benefited from 2 weather games this year. One against Michigan where it just was like a Category 5 monsoon rain late at night, and against us with the lightning strike. Because let's be honest, like if you work out and you go to the gym and say you're on the treadmill and you're running for about 15, 20 minutes and then all of a sudden you got to take a shit and you get back off that shit, are you going to be able to get back into rhythm back on that treadmill easily? You're not. Penn State sat in the locker room in East Lansing for 3 hours and came back out. And I can't remember Michigan State's quarterback's name, but we made him look like, again, Tom Brady just threading the needle. Until Franklin can win a game with this lineup here, and I think Manny Bowen not playing. I like Brandon Smith a lot, but in that Rose Bowl last year, Clay Helton and co. and Darnold were targeting. If you noticed last year, it was always to the left side where Brandon Smith's pass assignments were when he dropped into coverage. I just think Penn State's going to drop one. I'm going to say I think Penn State's going to score more than 16. It's like a 34-30 type game.
Well, I didn't realize y'all were both going to pick Washington, so I'm just going to have to go on record and say Penn State by 10.
I hope I'm wrong. I'm not going to lie. But this team they haven't gotten a job done this year. They haven't played the full 60 minutes against elite competition.
I feel like I have to concede something now, because you're picking my team. I mean, I will say if there's one way Penn State beats us, it's if they look at how Arizona State beat us, right? Arizona State, they didn't do anything special. They basically all they did is they put 7-8 in the box. They rushed Browning, all right? They just pressured him. And then, like, our receivers, like, we've got some all right receivers, right? But they're not getting open really easily, right? We don't really have great depth. They weren't really getting open. We were just getting rushed, and we couldn't really score at all. We scored 7 at the end, and we still lost. What was it, 13-7? And, like, I will say, like, a big thing for Peterson is we haven't really beaten, and, like, I guess you could call it an elite team so far.
That's a big thing for your program, too. Just getting that big signature.
It really is. This is one of the best bowl games outside of the CFP that I'm going to be paying attention to because there's so much on the line for both teams. Both teams need this win.
I just got to throw this out here. According to the NCAA official stats, right now, one of the teams that we're discussing is in the top 25 in passing. The one is not.
Penn State's in the top 25 in passing.
They're at number 25 in the country, and Washington is below 70.
Oh,
now,
we
having
that ball, bro.
having said that, the passing defense for either team currently right now, the stats in front of me here. Currently right now, Washington is actually ranked 21. In the nation as far as passing yards allowed. Mm-hmm. And Penn State is ranked, where was that at? 46 in the country. So, look, it's really not too terribly far apart. Let's see here. The, yards we're looking at right now, Penn State's giving up 2,500 over the year, 2,500 and change. and Washington has given up. Where we at here? My eyesight is getting bad. I'm getting old. 2,200 yards. Actually, it's. I mean, barely even. I mean, if you spread that out over 12 games, 12, 13 games.
Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't matter for 2018, but I think the winner of this game really has a leg up in the top 10.
This is a huge game.
Yes.
Yes.
The team that wins this game is going to have a leg up in the top preseason top 10 next year, I believe, because of winning.
I feel this. I think Penn State needs it more for 2018 than Washington. I still feel Peterson has the cachet and Washington has the cachet in the Pac-12 to be decently ranked. I think if Penn State loses this game, which I feel that they are, I think they're going to be ranked next year probably like in the from 15 to 25 range. Yep. If they win this game, they'll probably be 10 to 15. I think if Washington loses this game, I think they're going to be. I think regardless if they win or lose this game, they're going to be in that 10 to 15 range because they'll have Browning back next year. I think Villa, even though he could leave after this year and opt out, he'll come back for one more year, in my opinion. I just think this is one of those games. Like if Penn State loses this, I think more people. And I think when I saw the bowl show, the people were more high with like USC over Ohio State, which I think is going to happen. I think with Washington over Penn State, this can position the Conference of Champions to people hyping them up to being like, hey, they're kind of like where the Big 12 was for a few years, where they were omitted, but hey, they got some programs there, and that can lead to some feed for the next season.
Are you building up the Pac-12? That's Tiggy's job.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I'm being honest. I think with Penn State, I think we're going to be young next year. I think Michigan's going to. A Patterson is going to be able to play right away. He's going to be able to. Like, let's look at Big Ten quarterbacks real quick here.
Visit our Facebook pages, Smacking Off the Podcast fan page and Smacking Off the Podcast group page, facebook.com/group/smackoff, facebook.com/smackologists.
Adding up Shea Patterson, who amongst SEC quarterbacks, you got to at least say he was top 5, maybe.
Yeah,
so
probably down toward the bottom of that list, though. If you want to really get honest about it.
Well, like where would you rank Patterson? Where would you rank Shea Patterson?
Let's see here. SEC quarterbacks. We got Nick Fitzgerald.
He's the top one, number one.
Yeah,
because SEC quarterbacks suck. Yeah.
I mean, really, for the most part, this season, you are absolutely correct. There hasn't been a whole lot of, elite pro-style quarterbacks come out of the SEC.
Just going purely off of stats?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And as far as what we've seen, production-wise from the SEC this year, Jarrett Stidham, maybe. But, he's only been good in flashes. Look what he did in the Clemson game. Hell, he was a
Heisman quarterback in November.
Yes.
So think of it like this:
just
you
for
take
the
Patterson out of Ole Miss, out of the SEC with the void of talent, and you put him in Michigan, where there was a lot of young skill players who now are seasoned, and now you actually give them a competent quarterback that can actually make throws and can actually do things. I think that, and look at all the other Big Ten quarterbacks, for the love of God. McSorley isn't a world beater. Hornibrook isn't a world beater. Barrett's, was the cream of the crop. It doesn't take much to get into the Big Ten as a quarterback from like the SEC and get to being like in the top 5 status there. So that could help Michigan out a lot. Ohio State will just reputation, and even if they're reloading, will be all right. Michigan State's meh. Wisconsin's meh. Penn State will be meh. Pac-12 is in a better footing than the Big Ten is going the next year if Ohio State and Penn State don't win their big bowls. Wisconsin could win or lose the Orange Bowl. No one will care.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, let's be honest here. Miami is hurt at receiver, and Wisconsin plays the boring, old-school Big Ten football that nobody cares about.
I see them getting in a game where Miami pulls one out of their ass, kind of like they did against Georgia Tech.
It's that Wisconsin-Miami game is going to be one of those games where it's unfortunate some team has to win this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in Miami, so it'll probably be Miami.
I got to give this one to Rick. He kind of needs that because with Taggart and Mullen now in his backyard, I don't know how well that's going to bode for him, but I think he needs a little bit of momentum to compete with those guys.
He's got to do something to erase that loss to Pitt, too. That was nasty, man.
I live 10 minutes from Heinz Field.
Yeah.
And the just knowing that Pitt pulled off that upset just bothered me.
Again.
Like, I hate Pitt.
Yeah.
You could hear it. You're like, oh, my God, this is horrible.
Yeah, Pitt is the Memphis of the North. You know,
and it's unfortunate Pitt is the Memphis. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. If you were to do all-time teams from every school in the country, Pitt could win that tournament. If you really did an all-time team.
Which Pitt team?
Like if you took like every.
Oh, you're
player,
talking about a
all-time.
Right.
Marino,
they've had some great players.
Fitzgerald. I mean, they could play with anybody.
Didn't Hugh Green play for?
Didn't
Hugh Green play for Pittsburgh?
Hugh Green played for Pitt. 99 used to destroy Todd Blackledge.
Because I can tell you right now, I believe it was 1981. Pittsburgh, I think they ended up with one loss. But power rankings, that's one of the best teams ever.
Guess who that one loss was to?
Oh, let me remember.
Thanksgiving weekend. Number 1 Pitt was up 14-0 on Penn State, and Penn State came back with 48 unanswered points.
Joe Ba.
What year was this?
1981.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's the year that
I think that was in the middle of like Sandusky's touching days.
Yeah. But Tiggy, just so that you know, first game ever at Beaver Stadium was Washington and Penn State, and Penn State beat Washington, and Penn State also played Washington in the 83 or 84 Aloha Bowl, beat them then too, and also Penn State 6-0 in the Fiesta Bowl. So you have a chance. I know I picked the Huskies, but they have a chance to put a dent in that donut column that they have there against the Nittany Lions.
True. I think we're gonna pick up that dub. We're gonna break a couple.
I think you guys are too.
Tiggy, I gotta ask this question before we get off the air. What's this about you eating crap, like dog crap or something? What the hell? What the hell is that all about?
Nah, I don't know nothing about any of that, man. I'm just chilling, bro. Like, I make my prediction in the group. I make some other posts. That's it, bro. Like, I don't know why.
You never said you would eat crap, or you never did eat crap? Or...
I remember it. I remember you saying
he was talking shit like we all do online, and
hold
somebody
on
took it literally. And
Kyle remembers it.
I remember it. You were supposed to Facebook Live it on a Friday.
On a Friday. It's very specific.
Friday's a good day to eat crap. Yeah. If you're going to eat crap, Friday. No. I mean, why not Friday?
Tiggy's not eating
We
crap.
typically have pizza on Friday, but...
Tiggy's not having any part of this conversation.
Come on, Tiggy.
It's like, bro. So here's what happened, right? So I said this back in January, right? I said, yo, if we don't go undefeated, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And some idiot, right, bro? This dude deadass took a screenshot, bro. And every post I made from March until the start of the season, he was commenting this every single post. His name's Steven Boyce, bro. He's a Gator fan. He was commenting this every post, and I noticed, bro. After this Florida Gator started losing, right? He stopped commenting this. Because he went ghost. He just went totally ghost.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
And then someone else took up his job, and then people were starting to post on every single post. And when we lost Arizona State, everyone was like, you gotta eat this shit now. But I was like, and then like what I had to do is I faked a post from August, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, in that post, I said if we didn't go to the CFP, I'd eat the shit. So like that kind of delayed it. But then we lost to Stanford, and then it was all kind of fucked, right? and everyone wants to see a shit eating video. So I posted it. I posted it like, I don't remember how long ago, a few days ago, right? I posted a few days ago. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you guys gotta go check it out.
Is that the one where that has the noise at the end of it? I'm trying not to give it
No,
away.
I think that's the one where I ate the dog shit. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why you just didn't take like a melted, like
what type of dog?
It was Rottweiler.
Rottweiler.
Oh, so that's big
healthy
beer
turd.
cans,
big meaty turd.
Beer cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tasted like Twix.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it doesn't. Dog crap does not taste like Twix for all the children listening at home.
You would know about that, right?
No, I actually do plumbing work for a living. I've had shit in my mouth more than anybody else in this conversation.
Not intentionally, but just
fucking tell you that.
Just a little drop here and there.
God bless you for being a plumber. I mean, that's exactly what.
Everybody talks about vaccines. No, man, it's plumbing.
I don't get sick. I've gotten the flu one time in 20-some years because I was doing a water repiping project that lasted about 6 months in an apartment complex here in town.
I mean, seriously, if you want to look into it.
And look, you can keep your blessings. Just make sure you pay your invoice. That's it.
This is true.
Fellas, we really appreciate both of you sharing your feelings on Smacking Off.
And Tiggy, we'd love to have you on Eating Shit to start the next season.
Hey, Tiggy, don't feel bad. There was actually, I was smacking with an Oklahoma fan in the off season before the season started, and dude said that Alabama would not win 10 games. If Alabama won 10 games, he would set his dick on fire. And I still have that screenshot, and I pop it up. Right. Todd Blades, that one's for you. That one's for you.
All right, guys.
Hey, Tiggy.
Yeah.
You catching this bowl game here with Kansas State and UCLA.
Oh yeah, UCLA has no quarterback and no coach.
If
UCLA loses by less than 20, that's a win for the Pac-12.
To this Kansas State team. Yeah, that's.
Let me explain this to you. And like I mentioned to you in a previous chat, UCLA's defense, Tom Bradley's defense, Penn State. I watched his soft zone shit for years. As we've been talking, I've been looking over and watching K-State like muscle their way through. I'm like, I've seen this story more times than not.
Yeah, well, you don't hear that phrase very often. K-State muscling their way through. So I'm sorry.
That just tells you how shitty Tom Bradley defense
that's a rare statement.
All right, real quickly, Kyle. What do y'all say at Penn State? Like at Alabama, we say "Roll Tide." What do y'all say?
We are.
We
Penn
are.
State. Yeah,
right.
We are Penn State.
All right, we are Penn State. Fuck you, Tiggy.
Thanks, fellas.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small Smacking Off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.